Hi everyone, showing you the start of a practice session at Bathurst on Mount Panorama. Okay, so it's a late afternoon session. I've bumped up the weather speed to twice the real-time speed. So, as usual, the tyres and the brakes are very cold. We'll see how that works out compared to racing conditions with when everything's warmed up. The weather effects are stunning, as you can see. Okay, so yeah, the tyres are fairly cold still. It's as you'd imagine at the start of a practice session. Okay, so good awareness at least from the AI already during a practice session. Obviously they're warming up their tyres and brakes as well. Hope they don't brake test me or anything. Okay, so yeah, they really do take it easy here in practice, which is good to see. The AI is not simply going at full speed as though it's racing conditions. I have to say, while it's very noticeable the colder tyres compared to racing conditions, it's the brakes definitely are colder as well, but the difference between the cold brakes for this car and say warmed up brakes in racing conditions, the differences aren't as profound as they would be say for open wheelers or touring cars. I don't think. My experiences with the touring cars that I've driven makes a huge difference. Okay, so just showing you a lap or two around this great track. Now, some people call it the mini Nürburgring, but it's the Nürburgring's like nothing else, to be honest. The old Nordschleife circuit. It's but going up the mountain and back down. Whoops, should concentrate on the driving a bit. It's going up the mountain and back down. As you've seen, the corners are very unique. And they're very, very challenging. It's and for this track, I've improved the braking compared to what I had the previous time I went out. It's I had to increase the brake pressure compared to what I had before because the brakes just weren't stopping the car really in time. The braking distance were way too long, and the AI vehicles were all exploiting that and basically passing me as long as they had a good runner. You know, they were right behind me. So yeah, the car's braking much better now, and I'm competitive with them, which is great. You can see how I go compared to them. Yeah, the brakes are much better with the brake pressure changes. Different driving styles required for this compared to say in a previous video with the classic Merc touring car that I raced in. Still have to feather the throttle a bit, but not so much because of a spin. It's more to keep the car smooth and getting the power down out of corners. So this car is enjoyable in ways getting out of corners. I found the classic Merc touring car to be an amazing car to drive through corners. The car bottoming out a bit. The sound effects in Project Cars are awesome, aren't they? It's each lap the sunlight's changing quite a bit. Yeah, the circuit's definitely more shiny right now compared to the start of the practice session. The brakes are so much better than before. You wouldn't believe how bad they were previously. Adjusting the car setup, feel free to take a look at the previous car setup videos where I went through some of the options you can go through with road cars, for example, and or touring cars, and they really do help you a lot in project cars, no doubt about that. Now the AI on this track is they're quite aggressive. I don't think they're as well behaved as they are on other tracks, and I think that's why the coming patch for project cars deals with the AI on this track as well as some other tracks, which I have to say credit to Slightly Mad Studios for listening to their customers and fixing any issues people find. Obviously some other issues will take longer than others to fix, but they're already going through a lot of the most glaring issues, such as the AI at some circuits. I don't know how any touring car driver can really talk, say, to a commentator during a race going up and down the mountain. It's I'd already made a few errors just while speaking to you, but then again I'm still getting used to this track. I think the bonnet just flapped then. So if it did, it's that's quite impressive, the strain that it's under, and project cars showing that. Okay, getting a bit smoother with the car now, and the weather effects are amazing. It really does affect where you approach your braking, that sort of thing. You've really got to remember your braking points. Still got the BMWs tagged along behind me, so we're all faster than this Mitsubishi, so I might as well just get the run and go by. He went straight for my slipstream. Good to see. Did that Mitsubishi back off? Surely I don't have that sort of speed advantage over that Mitsubishi. I think that's some of the issues with the AI at Bathurst perhaps. But with the version 1.4 update that's coming, hopefully a lot of these issues will be fixed. And the racing, for example, will be a lot better here at Mount Panorama. Okay, so we're reaching the top of the mountain now. Usually during races you'd have crowds all lining up around here on the right side. You just hear them cheering on their favourite drivers. It's an awesome scene. A lot of that's to do with the passion the fans have as well for the racing, especially for V8 supercars in Australia. Feathering the throttle quite a lot here. If you twitch the car too much, you'll easily end up in the wall. You know, have damaged steering, that kind of thing, so... Okay, going through the chase. Amazing corner that. If you go through really high speed cars like GT3 cars or something, pretty amazing. Okay, the brakes are getting better as well. Okay, the sun's really starting to come down now. The tyres are warming up nicely as well, so I can go quite a bit faster now compared to what I did on the first few laps. shadows getting bigger, I think, or at least longer. Very dynamic, the weather conditions. Actually got the sniffles at the moment, so hope you can pardon my voice if it sounds a bit odd. Okay, the car's behaving quite nicely now. It does take a few laps to warm the brakes and tyres up with a lot of the cars in Project Cars, so it's good to see. The only thing is sometimes you might just like to have tyre warmers used straight away by your team, so you can just get out there and your first flying lap can be quite competitive. You may want to just test changes to the car setup, for example, and it takes a while to be able to see the effects because because you're spending laps warming your tyres and brakes up to just get up to racing speed. That being said, it's a good way to test the car on your out lap. That corner's so thrilling every time, that previous right-hander. Okay, I think I can improve the car setup a lot for the ripple strips. Okay, braked a touch later than usual and still made it comfortably for this last corner. The first corner coming up is called Hell's Corner, which leads on to Mountain Straight, and great passing opportunities on this track. Wow, the tyres have warmed up a lot. I could have gone a lot faster on the exit there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That's a few laps for you around Mount Panorama. Feel free to take a look at the videos of Project Cars on the left there, and don't forget to subscribe as there's plenty more videos to come. And also, if you like the video, feel free to actually like it and post comments on what you think of the actual games themselves, your experiences, that kind of thing. Project Cars is quite an interesting game and has got I think, an interesting future of development going on with it. It's a good first release. Obviously there's some issues, but with the updates coming from Slightly Mad Studios, it should be pretty awesome. Well, at least even more so than it is now. So feel free to subscribe, and remember there's plenty more videos to come. Until next time.